All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bitcoin Brief with your host, Tone Vays. And as usual, I am being joined on this episode by Jimmy Song. Jimmy, nice hat, man.
Oh, thanks. It's good to be back. I don't really wear this hat outside anymore, so I have to wear it somewhere.
Yeah, it's this quarantine thing was all fun and games in the beginning, but now, I left my generic background on. I forgot to put I'm starting to lose track the number of days I've been in quarantine. So I think I'm on day 27 or 28, but it's starting to, get a little bit antsy around here. So let's see how long this thing is going to keep going.
I mean, it's a lot of people are feeling antsy. You're seeing protests all over the place. Governors' mansions and capitals, and yeah, I mean, I can't see people staying in their homes for another month. That would be very, very difficult.
I can see one more month. I can see one more month. But like I said on my prior podcast, which I hope is not the reason why I got banned last week for saying it. So I hope that doesn't happen again. But look, I think everyone is gonna barbecue with their friends and family Memorial Day weekend, no matter what the government's policy is.
Yeah, that's probably right. And I mean, we already know that coronavirus doesn't spread as much, like when there's temperatures are fairly high and stuff. When summer is coming, I mean, the justification for keeping us locked up would be it would have to stretch the imagination quite a bit. I really can't see people like staying inside for the summer.
All right, so we are here on a Sunday evening, and this was a very interesting week. As always, I can't believe we used to do these shows every single morning because that's how exciting the crypto space is. I've been paying to the news a little bit less and less, and as Bitcoin matures and continues to be as stable and getting more private, as we will find out on this episode, I start to care less and less about other crap that is happening. But for the third show in a row, we are leading with our favorite topic of DeFi, because guess what happened again and again and again and again. This one is way more funny than the usual ones. So hackers just tapped China's DeForce for 25 million in an Ethereum exploit. A known ERC-777 vulnerability led to an attack. Well, if it was known, never mind. Led to an attack that drained a huge chunk of coins from DeForce. The same attack also drained around 300,000 from a Uniswap pool. I'm just going to read the brief because the rest of it is no different than our story from 2016, which was the first DeFi financial contract, the DAO. I gotta find that video of me saying how the DAO is about, everyone in the DAO is about to lose all their money a week before it actually happened, which was hilarious. Again, not funny for those that lost money, but like when we warn you and you keep doing it, like that is the definition of insanity. So more than 25 million was drained. We know that. The brief is exactly like the title, of course. I am not reading the rest of it. There's going to be nothing here that I have not read in 5 other stories. But Jimmy, tell us the technical situation of what happened.
Well, first of all, this is not just your normal DeFi protocol. This one was one of the first in China, if I'm not mistaken. So they're having to expand the pool of suckers, or I mean investors, or I guess they might be suckers. I'm not sure, but they had to expand, and of course,
no. Didn't they just go to like one investor, the one idiot that keeps investing in this nonsense?
Oh well, I mean, they're not. It's not just the one. They invested some, but they're people that have to actually use the protocol. So most of the users, from what I understand, are from China, which is different than some of these other protocols where they're from the
Jimmy,
West.
I got to interrupt you again. What do they have to use the protocol for?
I don't know. I guess quick loans or something like that, decentralized loans, or I don't know. But that was the premise of course, multi-coin capital's investment. But just the general thing about what happened here is that they apparently more or less copied Uniswap's smart contract without looking at it. And of course, the same exploit that managed to get $300,000 out of Uniswap yesterday was able to drain 25 million from DForce, today. So, or I guess this article was yesterday, so it was 2 days ago and yesterday. So that's basically what happened. Is that it was a known smart contract with a vulnerability that apparently Consensus was talking about a while back. Somebody actually used that vulnerability to drain Uniswap of money, and then it got used to drain
and these developers didn't realize that they have to fix this bug because they've copied the code.
Apparently not. I don't really understand why you would trust any smart contract on Ethereum at this point. They're clearly not being vetted to any degree of sanity. And the security behind them is absolutely piss poor. And this is what happens: is that $25 million gets drained out of your account, and you're left with nothing. So, there are a bunch of people saying, well, sorry, or they should have done more security audits. But this is the DeFi way, and this is the way that Vitalik has been promoting for a long time, which is to try different things and see if they work. And if you lose lots of money, then too bad. You're one of the broken eggs.
So anyone that lost money in this has to ask the following question. Did this project completely end once the guy that learned how to copy paste somebody else's code was done with this project the moment they copy pasted code, changed the name, collected a bunch of money, and went on vacation? Because technically their job is done. This is the job of every single altcoin creator. You take Bitcoin code, you change a couple of lines. Some people take longer than others. Ethereum took about 2 years. Others take about a day. Look at Bitcoin Cash, and you take Bitcoin code, you change a line, and your job's done. Basically, at that point, try to promote it, if even, or you just leave. I mean, that's what everyone else has done. That says, I'm leaving the project to the community.
Well, I think it's a little more sinister than that, in my opinion. Most of them stick around and collect on the foundation proceeds that they collected through an ICO or something like that, and they end up being a zombie company for the next 5-10 years. I guarantee that EOS has enough money to be a zombie company for a significantly long time, because they apparently have in the realm of $1 billion in the bank.
Ripple certainly does, but here's a company I haven't heard from in a few years. How's R3 doing, Jimmy?
Well, they didn't do an ICO, right? So I don't think they're doing that well. I don't imagine. I haven't heard from them. I haven't heard of any projects from them. The people that went there, I think Mike Hearn, the guy from IBM. I mean, they've shown up at conferences once in a while. Richard Gendel Brown, I think was his name. Yes. I literally haven't heard much from that company at all. I'm not even sure if they're still working there. I wouldn't be surprised if they've been let go or furloughed or laid off or something, because they literally have not produced anything. And that's more a blockchain, not Bitcoin story. This one is more altcoin scam story, which you could live off of it a long time. I mean, we talked about Factom last time. Yeah. They lasted 5 years, and they raised a fraction of what Ethereum and Ripple and EOS.
I gotta say, look, I kind of feel bad for giving R3 a hard time back in the day, because considering our current landscape, they were like the most honest, respectable company. Look at 2020 hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, like the Scambrian explosion, as people like to call it, has like just gotten like much worse. Morally, we thought that even, you know, like altcoins were bad, and then like blockchain, not Bitcoin, was not bad. But I mean, this is taking it to another level. It's just like straight up scams and like Ponzi schemes and stuff like this, where it's like completely insecure, so all your users lose money. There's some speculation. I mean, I'm not going to validate the speculation at all, but there's some speculation that they made this contract so that they could promote it and then just steal from it. I mean, like the hacker might be the person that made it, right? Like it's entirely possible. So yeah, you got to be very careful here.
All right. So by looking at this chart, did they literally drain the entire thing? Not like, see, at least with the DAO, the guy was nice and only stopped after he took like 60-70% of the funds. Did they literally drain it to zero?
Apparently, yes. Yeah. So the smart contract apparently has $0 in it.
Oh, I feel so bad laughing about this, but like I don't know what to say though. Like,
well, I mean, this is how money gets drained from idiots to, you know, slightly smarter people. This it's the way of the world, man. And if you got deceived, well, that's kind of your fault because you didn't do your due diligence.
How do you think this is gonna work?
Well, this is hilarious. Basically, people are sending $0 transactions to the attacker and writing all these like sob stories in the comment field. See, I see there it says the virus hurt all of us. Life is not easy. My savings are drained. Blah blah blah. And you could we know the address. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if you know, this person can be swayed with sob stories. But I mean, these are hackers. I highly doubt it.
I will give all props in the world if this hacker just like burns the funds just to teach them a lesson. Actually, no, I'm sorry. No, please don't do that, because then you give more value to the rest of Ethereum in circulation. Don't do that. Just sell the damn thing. Sell it, turn it into Bitcoin, and then burn the Bitcoin.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, but we'll see exactly what happens. Generally, these things tend to flow into Bitcoin anyway because it has the largest anonymity set and a lot of
oh man,
yeah.
This would have been a perfect transition to our next story for Bitcoin's anonymity set. But Pierre Richard's tweets on this situation were just too good. So Kyle, he's the guy in charge of Multicoin Capital, which clearly, and he hates Bitcoin, he always has, and he, you know, invests in every scam under the sun apparently. And Pierre writes, worried about Bitcoin's failure in 10 years while investing in projects that fail in 10 days. Multicoin.
Yeah, I can't imagine being an LP for Multicoin Capital right now. I mean, just how stupid do you have to be to like announce your investment on Tuesday and by Saturday it gets hacked for all of it, right? Like it's got to be so incredibly embarrassing. If I'm an LP, I am calling them and saying, what the hell happened? How could you invest in something that gets hacked at 5 days later? They apparently copied and pasted code from Uniswap. What the hell's going on? But yeah, I mean,
the name of your fund is Multicoin Capital. I don't know if it gets more embarrassing than that. Like, it didn't really matter what he was going to invest in.
Well, he started the fund. I know that they started the fund in 2017. So back then it was considered like a good thing. You know, I mean, he's been trolling Bitcoiners for a while. He's not very good at it. And obviously his portfolio and his firm haven't been doing very well given the insane drops in almost everything that they've invested in. So all that is to say, you know, scoreboard. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. So Kyle tweets, over the next 36 months, Asia will become by far the most important market for DeFi and permissionless crypto more broadly. This is why we are invested in. And then Pierre puts, that's reality, but here's the myth. Bitcoiners are using
stock to flow.
Wait. Stock to flow models to create unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's kind of right in the sense that Asia is the most important DeFi market because no one's been scammed there yet, and they're about to get scammed big. And because that's where all the suckers are. So he's kind of right.
That's because Asia is late to the party. They just got scammed on Ponzi schemes, something that the West learned a while ago, including BitConnect. But Asia, now that they're not dumb enough to invest in Ponzi schemes, here comes DeFi and smart contracts.
Right. They were late to the party on ICOs. They're a few years behind usually. So in that sense, he probably was thinking that the same pattern would play out. He just didn't think that they would copy and paste the smart contract. The hackers would be 100 times faster on the Chinese one because, of course, it's that easy. It's all gonna. He made a bad bet. You're gonna be answering to your LPs.
All right. So speaking, as was mentioned earlier, there's a high probability all that Ethereum is going to eventually get into Bitcoin, and they now have a little more fungibility to do so. Blockstream's cooperation with BTC Pay Server is giving us Bitcoin privacy improvement through a peer-to-endpoint implementation. Wow, I knew what P2EP stood for without actually. I knew that before.
Very close. It's pay-to-endpoint, not peer-to-endpoint.
Oh shit!
Very, very close.
Wrong day. I actually knew it. I don't know why I said peer. I meant pay. So Jimmy's going to tell us the details because I'm technically brain dead at this point. However, I will point out that we, through our own server and our own node, have just implemented BTC Pay Server for payments on tonevays.com. And just as we completed, like literally, we launched the day before this news came out. So now we have to look into how do we add more fungibility into our BTC Pay Server implementation on our node with our full node. On our server with our full node. Jimmy, tell us the details.
Yeah, so essentially, this is a way to make payment transactions look a little more complicated. Essentially, when I'm paying you on tonevays.com, what can happen is usually I pay with some amount. Say I use like one input. I'm paying you half a Bitcoin. I use a 1 Bitcoin input, and pay you half a Bitcoin and pay change to half a Bitcoin. That's very easily traceable on chain analysis because if you know that the half Bitcoin is my change, then there's only one input, so you could go backwards very easily. What this does is the server or the recipient gives you an input as well. So at the same time you're paying, they're using one of their inputs, so it's not clear who's actually doing the payment and who's actually receiving or anything. And as a result, what you get is sort of false trails on the chain analysis graph. And the more you do this, the better it gets, and it gets exponential pretty quickly. So if you do like 10 of these payments, then you have like 2,000 or 1,000 different possibilities, like 10 transactions ago. And that helps sort of, add to your anonymity set and protects your privacy. Now, the tricky part is that the merchant has to actually keep a private key on the server and has to have access to certain outputs so that they can always sort of like do the pay join protocol. I think it's like
hold on. Does he have to keep a private key on the server?
It does. So that's the way. That's the only way it can work, because the merchant also has to sign the transaction to make it go.
Because right now I'm avoiding that by only putting the YPub of the public keys on the server.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not without risk, and it's I would consider it somewhat bleeding edge. Although there might be some ways to do it so that you receive the transaction, and then you can go to your air gap and then sign it offline, but you can still produce the transaction. And then you as long as it's valid up to except for your signature, you accept it, and then you go sign it offline and then broadcast it to the network. You could do something like that. So it's probably possible to do it without the private key online, but for the most efficient implementation, you should probably have it online. But it's up to the person that's receiving.
All right. Well, we're gonna look into it. I want to support this project. So we will try to implement this in tonevays.com.
Yeah, and it's probably just a click away after you update.
Are you gonna be doing this as well, or you have another idea?
Well, I don't have a BTC Pay server. I don't really I don't use it that way. So, but at some point it might become worth it, or you can do various things on Liquid to anonymize as well. I haven't needed to. Usually the payments for my seminar and things like that happen directly. Like, and there isn't as much of a need for anonymity, but if it's requested, then yeah, I can certainly make something happen.
All right. Oh, very cool. All right. And oh no, we got two more stories coming up. So, we'll save the mining one for last. So, man, I don't know how, wait, I
Greg
thought this was a
Maxwell.
reply to.
Well,
okay.
You see Null C right there. Null C is the first reply.
No, for some reason I thought he actually replied to Roger, but he didn't. He just mentioned Roger. So
Roger replied to him, though. You could see memory dealers right under.
So I can't believe that we and Gregory Maxwell are looking at our BTC, but I thought this was pretty funny. So somebody on our BTC posts, Bitcoin OGs left for Bcash, Ethereum, and Monero. The only thing they still don't agree upon after 11 years is weighting the unique characteristics of these against each other in their portfolios, which is actually insane because that just means there isn't anything good, right? This is like Napster goes down and music downloading becomes a giant mess because there isn't one good platform until BitTorrent came out. So Gregory Maxwell, who is Null C, replies saying Roger came to Bitcoin later than almost all the Bitcoin developers he's constantly shitting on. The headline should have been about Bitcoin latecomers shilling shitcoins like Dash. I don't know why he picked Dash of all of them, which was originally Bitcoin Dark. I mean, Gregory Maxwell has been in Bitcoin longer than Roger, since I believe 2010, longer than most, but I'm pretty sure that Dash was originally Xcoin and then became Darkcoin and then became Dash. But it doesn't.
It was Bitcoin Dark. It was Bitcoin Dark at one point. I remember. Well, and then it changed its name as like a rebranding thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've done extensive look back on. I mean, again, I don't want to it doesn't matter. I mean, it was always a scam. They kept changing the name. They could have had another name change because that's how you obfuscate your scammy beginning. And was billed as Bitcoin, but with CoinJoin, missing the whole point that CoinJoin doesn't benefit from protocol changes. But hey, whatever it takes to separate Roger from his money, apparently it doesn't take much. And Roger replied, I'm pretty sure I made more money from my involvement in Bitcoin than you did. That's the best he can say.
He's absolutely right about most of these developers that Roger's shitting on came into Bitcoin before he did. And the thing about Roger is that he really wasn't involved in Bitcoin for very long before he started clamoring for his own thing. I think he came in maybe 2011. He
came in 2011, and by 2016 he was, and in 2016 he was gone.
Yeah, in 2013, he made that announcement about how Mt. Gox was solvent, even though they clearly weren't. 2014, he started belly aching for larger blocks. And pretty much since then, he's been kind of an enemy of Bitcoin. And
So
that's
pretty soon, got another year or two to go, and Roger has been in Bitcoin less than half the life of Bitcoin. Meanwhile, I have now been in Bitcoin more than half the life of Bitcoin. So that's going to be
yeah.
a fun tweet later.
I mean, he really wasn't like promoting Bitcoin that long. He did maybe 3 years solid from 2011 to 2014. Starting in 2014, 2015, he was on the front lines of the scaling wars, and by 2016, 2017, he was part of the problem. So the fact that he left in 2017, I don't think you can really count what he did in 2015, 2016, 2017 as being beneficial for Bitcoin. I don't think he was. So in many ways, like if you take the amount of time he was quote unquote Bitcoin Jesus, it was really about 3 years. That's it. And he's acting like he made Bitcoin what it is in those 3 years that he did, what he did, and it's like, no, man. You were shilling stuff like, Zero Coin and Zcash and Monero, like starting in 2015, 2016. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this he's not technical. He's a snake oil salesman, and we all know that. So that's kind of who you're following if you're following Bcash.
All right. So our final topic, let's talk about mining a little bit. So hash rate has been, it's still staying near the top. I have a chart around here somewhere of hash rate. Opened up a lot more tabs recently. It's one of these. There we go. Yeah, here it is. That was it. So hash rate is holding fairly well, but what's going on with the hardware is Bitmain still around? Barely, right?
Well, I mean, essentially, last year was when MicroBT started to overtake Bitmain. I'm not sure if they have exactly yet, but they have somewhere around 35%
Hold on,
of
Jimmy.
the
Is
entire.
MicroBT the company that was started by Bitmain's chip developer?
Yeah, so they develop What's Miner, and basically they have, or as of December, they accounted for somewhere around 35% of Bitcoin Network's total hash rate. I think Antminer has maybe 45% ish, and then you got like 20% other, including Bitfury and some others. So they're catching up. I'm guessing that they've surpassed them by now because they have just so many more products and they're able to ship them faster. So in a sense, Bitmain is getting outcompeted at its own game, in large part because What's Miner just has better hardware. The M30S Plus, the M30S Plus Plus, and the M31S Plus are all sort of available right now. Bitmain's having some supply problems and the schedules and all that, especially with COVID, coronavirus and everything in China. Like everything's a little bit in flux. But I suspect that MicroBT is going to, this is a year that they start taking over. There are probably going to be other miners as well as if we see a price increase going into the halving or after the halving. Mining becomes one of those things that people invest a lot during booms. Right now we're in like sort of like a rising part, going back up. So it's going to be interesting to watch. But MicroBT has definitely been doing very well, and you can see that they're kind of winning the war in China. And Bitmain, on the other hand, is spending all their time and resources on distractions like Bitcoin Cash.
Well, here's the big question, right? Like, I mean, I don't care about Bitmain. I mean, I've been waiting for that company to die anyway. I mean, once that company went the big block route and joined Roger, like it's obvious that like they can't succeed in the future. I mean, that's just like you made the wrong business decision, and your chip developer quits and starts his own company. I mean, the Bitmain was going down the drain. We all knew that. How does MicroBT stack up against Canaan is my question, because the miner that I run is Canaan. I've spoken to them. I've had them on my show before. I wanted to buy their stock a couple of weeks ago, but I totally forgot, and now they shut up already in price, so I'm not going to chase it. So what do you think? I don't know how extensive your mining knowledge is, but what do you think of Canaan?
Well, so I did look at their financials for 2019, and they weren't very good. They lost somewhere in the realm of $150 million for the year on
Damn,
revenues of 200 million. So that's a really
that's
negative
not good.
margin, and most of that loss, somewhere around 120 million of it was in Q4. So whatever happened in Q4, they screwed up, and they paid for it. So I'm not sure why their stock's going up again. Possibly they might be, doing something else or trying a different strategy. But I think clearly the big talent is at MicroBT, and the What's Miner series has been absolutely phenomenal. The terahashes per second that they're able to get seem to be leaps and bounds over
Yeah.
the other stuff that's around.
This
The
is
Miner S19 and S19 Pro. I mean, they do okay, but What's Miner seems to be the gold standard in the market at
So
the
this is
moment.
a little unfortunate, because I don't really like. I'm happy that Bitmain's going out of business, but I don't want Canaan to go out of business, because I want competition. I don't want to deal with a single Chinese company is dominating mining again in 2 years.
Well, there are other companies. I think there's whoever is making Dragon Mint, and there were
Is anyone
other.
still making Dragon Mint? I haven't heard
I'm
anything
not, I'm
about
not.
it.
I'm not even sure. I haven't looked into it in a while. But
I don't think they
there
are.
are people that are making this stuff, and they have the capacity to churn something out. But yeah, it's a brutal business, and especially during bear markets. At least the last bear market, this is when 4 or 5 different mining companies went bankrupt, and Bitmain emerged the winner, and they were able to set themselves up for the 2016 halvening and really take advantage. And they became the juggernaut that they were. It looks like What's Miner is sort of in the same position that Bitmain was in 2016, and that bodes very well for them. Now, does that mean that there's there's going to be more bankruptcies? Probably. And I suspect at least a few of them few of the mining conglomerates or mining manufacturers have already bankrupted. But like going forward, this is how you get better equipment and better stuff. Is that a lot of these businesses are not run by real professionals, and you need to think on a much longer time scale and have to have a much larger war chest in order to go to war against these guys. So the next group of people that come in for the competition will have to do that much better, and I suspect they will. But it's you're not going to win just by starting a company. You're going to have some serious business acumen and technical chops and real advantages that you can deploy to beat these guys, because it's not easy. This is not an easy business, and that's just how it is. This is also what makes Bitcoin such hard money, because it is a brutal business, and there's a lot of people that go bankrupt trying to do this, and that's the case in gold mining. That's the case in all sorts of other things with hard money. It's not easy money. It's not investment banking or something where you're almost assured of making a profit.
All right, so we're gonna end our news section here. I don't want to do another show, so we are gonna cover price in this show in a few minutes. Jimmy, you want to stick around, or you want to say your goodbyes?
Well, let's stick around, because I am curious about the weekly 2. About it didn't quite get
I'll
above
keep
the
it
1,
short.
so
I'll keep it short. We'll be done within the next 15 minutes, but real quick, while everyone is actually gonna now wait to stick around for the price, Jimmy, programming Bitcoin. Why am I typing Bitcoin? Programming Bitcoin. Tell us what you're up to. Let's pimp the books. I am holding one of the books. The other one is a little further above me. This is the Little Bitcoin book, and you see on the screen, Programming Bitcoin. You can purchase those at Amazon. And Jimmy, all you.
Yeah, the first book, Programming Bitcoin, is for developers. If you are interested in learning about Bitcoin and you know some Python, that's the book to get. It's $40.50 on Amazon, I believe. And the Little Bitcoin book is more for your pre-coiner friends. And I'm hearing all over the place that a lot of people are getting questions about Bitcoin because the Fed's printing just so much money. So if they're curious about what's going on, this is a great book because the first chapter talks all about how money is completely broken in society today, and then chapter 2 introduces Bitcoin. So it's a good way to get your pre-coiner friends into Bitcoin.
Jimmy, do you have a link here for this book in multiple languages?
I don't there. Maybe I should put it on there. Right now we have Spanish and Portuguese on Amazon. We have a bunch of other ones like sort of in the queue, but coronavirus kind of put a stop to a lot.
Yeah, because like I know on Saifedean's homepage, he has like a whole thing, like every like 18 different translations, and you're like this one here, this one here, this one here. So probably a good idea for your next update of the website.
Yeah. Also, my programming book is available in Korean and will be in Chinese and Japanese. Polish apparently is already available, and Russian is slated to become available. And if you are interested in translating it, please let me know if it's not one of those 5 languages, because I have the rights. So you could, and I will release it open source to whoever is competent to translate it. So there you go.
Any workshops coming up?
No, we're going to have to delay until this crisis is over.
All right. On my end, hey guys, since I happen to be on a Vays store, we're going to try to add more items, but this is our store with some really, really cool gear. My options webinar is a three-day event, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You can purchase it right here, and it will be over Zoom, and it will take place Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And Monday will basically just be looking at the live market. If you're interested in the indicator, that's right there. And what do I usually promote? Oh yeah, the affiliates. If you want to support this YouTube channel and you're interested in VPN services or a Bitcoin debit card using TradingView trading, please use the affiliate page. I think that is pretty much it for announcements. And I don't know what these things are or were.
Oh, they're Telegram
do
blogs.
that.
So
oh yeah, these are the cards.
Something. Okay.
These are the cards. This is what they look like. Okay. Financial Summit, Understanding Bitcoin. You guys know where they are. All right, let's talk price. I actually have not looked at the traditional markets yet. I have no idea if the S&P opened up or down. We will find out together. But right here, I continue to say that Bitcoin's road for the year ahead, just like I wrote back in January in my blog, when I wrote, what are my expectations for the year 2020 in the Bitcoin ecosystem, I expected Bitcoin to consolidate and stay under $10,000 for the rest of the year. I believe that we will be stuck in this triangle. And the peak of this triangle goes out all the way to March, and the peak of this triangle is at $7,150. I believe we will break out of this triangle before we get to the peak. So my best guess, sometime in December or January, we will still be in a pretty annoying place, but get ready for a breakout. I believe we have bottomed. I am a bull in the market. This is a green too, but we're going to look at it more from live action, which is probably this chart. This is the more live look. Now, the current weekly green 2 is not above the green 1 candle, and the green 1 candle was not a very bullish, inspiring candle. In addition, I have been noticing Bitcoin rising in the over the weekend, only to go down Sunday night into Monday, Tuesday. So I'm not yet expecting much. This is a no trade candle by not being able to get above the 1. And additionally, this is a no trade candle because of the unreasonably fast rise from the $3,800 area all the way to 7,500. So Bitcoin needs this little break. I would love to see a red one, then another green one, and then finally a green two above a green one 2-3 weeks from now. And that could give us enough momentum to get rejected by this trend line around $9,200, and then we start this process all over again. But I don't believe we're gonna go below this 200-week moving average. So the faster that rises, the better off we are. The daily chart has been a little bit tricky on the daily chart right here. See, we're already pulling back, just like last week. So if we go back 7 days, so we have, so this is Sunday night. So this is our, the candle's about to flip, by the way. In 10 minutes, we're gonna have another candle. So this is still, this is our Sunday candle. So Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, boom, right there. This was our candle all day Saturday into Sunday, Saturday night into Sunday, and then Sunday night, Sunday evening, we crashed down, and then Monday we went here. So that's what happened last week, and we're looking at something similar. We're starting to go down right at the end of the weekend, and I can't wait to see how S&P 500 is opening. Based on sequential, there is a bullish trade on the table that took place with a green 3 going above the green 2. I have said that this is not the most optimal trade. I am not confident in this bullish trade, mostly because I'm letting my fundamental bias get the better of me over the technical buy signal. But the weekly is not confirming your bullish trade. And in addition, I am very skeptical that the stock market is going to keep rising. And Bitcoin is still somewhat correlated to the stock market. I don't believe we're going to crash like we did back here. But I think I think the stock market is very overdue for a pullback, and it's going to drain Bitcoin down with it. I don't think it's going to go that much lower, but I think this count will break. I do not expect this count to get to a 9. Lower level time frame. Oh no, not lower level time frame. I've been looking for an old chart that I still can't find, but in my attempt to look for an old chart, a specific old chart, I ran across this old chart. So I'm actually going to drop the moving averages because I have a better moving average now. And this is the old, I think it's the old Bitfinex channel. No, this is Bitstamp. This is the old channel. I haven't looked at this channel in forever. This channel, I was such a bull all throughout this channel, and everyone kept making fun of me because I kept expecting us to hit the top of the channel, being the purple, and it wasn't, and it kept getting rejected earlier. And everyone was saying how bearish Bitcoin was when I was a big bull. I want to extend this and see what it where it would be today.
Your trend line.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Go.
You know, these things are actually kind of hard to do because
yeah, they're all log. Yeah,
because of the log scale. So this is a little challenging here. I don't know how to do this best. I can adjust the top one, but I will struggle to get the bottom one. So the top one is actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, you need it to touch there. There you go.
The top one is good. Well, I actually didn't need it to touch there. It's cool that it did. I needed it to touch this, 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 and that. And that's what I really needed.
And then you need to widen the bottom so that it touches.
Right, but widening the bottom is a problem because of the log scale. So the other option is it's easier to widen the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this here We're gonna move this there.
That looks pretty good.
And now we're gonna move this.
There you go. Yep. It looks like it's touching the right things, or did very briefly. Yeah.
Right. And yep, that's the one. And wow, I had no idea this would have touched the top of this channel. This was the break, and we are very under that channel. So we are certainly not as bullish as we were back in the day. Can we make it back into this channel? Oh, that's going to be rough because this thing, it's moving pretty steeply. So let's hope. And
you need all-time highs to get past it right now, I think.
You're going to need it. Yeah. So let's hope that we get there. These are some of my other old charts. Like I said, I was looking for a very specific old chart, and then I found my old charts, not the charts I was looking for. Jeez. One day I'll close some tabs, guys. Maybe next year.
That's why you need to buy new computers all the time.
I'm working on it. I'm unfortunately, with the current price of Bitcoin, bless you, Jimmy. With the current price of Bitcoin, I am going to be a cheapskate, and I'm going to wait for Black Friday around Thanksgiving, and I will buy a computer with 32 gigs of RAM because right now I only have 16. But this was an old chart of mine pointing out like the relevant old events. I kind of stopped doing it after, but there's your big Greek banking crisis, the bit license saga, more hacks, panic selling on no news. I think the bear whale was here. PayPal talking about Bitcoin, Dell accepts Bitcoin and all this other stuff. This was during the bear market, of course, of last time. All right, enough going down memory lane. Another old chart that I probably won't care about. Yes. Oh, no, it's the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart, not interesting. I don't even need to see the sequential. Not very interesting right now. And that's it. Oh, traditional markets. I really care about that. Oh, by the way, I was showing this. Someone, an old workshop attendee of mine showed me this chart. This is the Bitcoin volatility index. And almost every single peak takes place on a 9. So here's a 9 here, 9 there. Look at this, Jimmy.
Multiple 9s.
9. That's actually a 9. It became a 1 because the candle was so bad. 9, 9, 9 down here for the upside, 9 here for the upside, 9 down, 9 up, 9 down, 9
That's
up.
the daily, huh?
Yeah, it's the daily. This 9 didn't do it. That 9 at the high, 9 at the low. This 9 would have been decent right here. This 9, this is like the one place where it didn't really work. 9 buy, 9 sell. This 9 sell didn't do it, but that was 2 9s in a row. 9 buy, 9 buy. This one didn't do it. Man, 9 sell. I like it. You can go all the way back. Like I was dragging this thing back like forever, and they're always there. Like here, and there was another high one somewhere in the back, and there, and oh, these didn't. I don't think I dragged it this far back, but before. But like it was incredible. Here, there, like it didn't. It was like it's like I put them there on purpose. It's insane. All right, let's look at traditional markets, guys. I'm already over my time. I promised this would end by 8 p.m., but here we go. Gold. Can't wait to see gold. So I was in a silver position, and I got out of my silver right there on the 9. I'm doing a lot of work right now for the options. That's why I have so many tabs open. I got out of my I had my silver trade from here to here.
Nice.
And I got out of my silver here on a 9. We're pulling back. We continue to pull back. I am looking for this to reverse and go up, but obviously not yet. Oil is next on the docket.
Yeah, have you seen gas prices lately? Like
no, I have
$1.39.
I have not seen gas prices since for about 4 months, because after I got back from South Africa, I basically got picked up from the airport. And while I did use my car, I have used up a quarter of the tank of gas because thankfully my car was full when I got back. So no, I have not seen the price of gas in months.
Yeah, it's $1.39 in Texas.
Wow. You know what? I remember, and this would be incredible. So when I first started driving, let's not talk about how long ago that was, but I remember when I first started driving, I remember the oldest memory that I have of me filling up my car. The cheapest gas price I've ever filled up my car with was $1.09. And we are talking this happened 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, I remember filling up my car for $1.09. If we go to a gas price that is lower than that, oh my God, I'm not going to know what to say.
Yeah, we very well might. It's such a crazy time because no one is driving. There's a glut of oil from OPEC. So I mean, we're in a crazy situation. I mean, do you think this thing hits 15? If it hits 15, we're looking at $1 per gallon gas prices.
I think it can hit 10.
Oh wow, then we'll definitely hit $1. We might see 99-cent gas. That's crazy.
I am not bullish oil in any way, shape, or form. I am waiting for the weekly 9. So we're this is the daily chart. We're on a daily 7, but we're also on a weekly 7. And we're on a monthly 4. So if we blow past the weekly 9, we can be going down for 5 more months.
If we get below 10, I mean, that's going to bankrupt every oil company. There's no way they can make a profit on $10 a barrel oil. So
hey, that's fine. The government will just bail them out. They seem to be bailing everybody else out. Hey, let me ask you this question, because I was wondering, right? So here's what really pissed me off during remember the last government shutdown, when all the government employees got a 2 or a 3 week vacation, and we all paid for that, and they didn't have to work, and they didn't have to use vacation days, and then they got paid for all those days. In this world, right, like right now, if you're a government employee that doesn't have to go to work, and they obviously barely have internet in a lot of these government offices, so you're not working from home, you're just not working, but you're still getting paid. Why are you also getting a $1,200 check?
Well, this is what rent seekers are very good at, and they're all rent seeking, right? Like I mean, first of all, most of these jobs are completely unnecessary, so it's not like they're really adding much value to anything. They're bureaucrats, and they're enforcing one regulation or writing one or investigating one or something like that. Thing is, the government is not going to cut their salary or fire them or anything else. The government is not going to cut back at all because they can print their own money, and that's what they're going to do. And it's and they get it because otherwise it would piss them off, and they don't want to piss off the public employee union. So yeah, they're getting it.
All right. So let me ask you this question then. This takes it to another level, because you have kids, and I'm assuming those kids go to school, as much as homeschooling, as much as all the Democrats want to make homeschooling illegal. It's technically, I believe, allowed in Texas, but I'm sure your kids go to school. So for the moment, they're not going to school, right? So you're kind of educating them.
Well, they go to they have they're able to do their schoolwork online, so it's okay. I mean, we
no, I know, but here's the thing, right? Like all
those teachers are getting paid regardless. Yeah,
right. So all those teachers are being paid regardless, and like the most difficult part of their job is dealing with like other people's kids, right? That's what they really make the money for, right? and which they're no longer having to do. So the hardest part of your job is actually gone. All you have to do is grade homework right now, right? So again, why are they getting a $1,200 check? And why isn't their salary being cut? Because 60% of their job is now gone, right? So like,
I mean, this is true for every government employee. But I mean, they're not going to cut anything because they don't have to, and they're going to print as much money as they want. And this is the disincentive. It's all coming out of our pockets in the form of savings. It's just people don't realize it yet. They think they're getting $1,200 for free. It's you're paying for it. It's I wrote a tweet a while back. It's a payday loan, and that's what it is. You're going to pay for it for a long time to come.
Oh shit! People are posting in the chat about how much they paid for gas and when. So we have $1.10 in Georgia right now. We have someone paid 99 cents back in 2004. That's a good deal. I don't remember paying that little, and I was already driving by 2004.
Well, I mean, this is in the South, so it depends on
it's
what
probably in the
state you're
South.
in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was in New York, so I paid $1. I remember paying $1.09.
I mean, you're not gonna get $1 in California, no matter how much. I think like.
Oh yeah, no, they charge you like
happening.
$1.50 in taxes. That's not going to change. Hey, someone had a very funny comment in the live chat. If oil gets to like that $10 area, the steel, what do you call it, barrel could be worth more than the oil inside the barrel.
Could be. Wouldn't surprise me. The oil market is just so manipulated right now. We know that OPEC has.
Wait, as opposed to when?
Yeah, this is true. I mean, OPEC's been around forever. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting next couple of years. We'll see.
Okay, guys. So here's the S&P 500. It opened. So this was, bless you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
What's today's date? Today's the 19th, right? So here's where S&P opened. So on Friday evening, right where this red line is, I shorted the market, and I felt, and this was at 1:30 p.m. on a Friday, and then at 2:40 p.m. I felt like a genius. But in the last hour of trading, that happens. So this is my break-even line, minus a little bit of time decay, but I bought a bunch of time on my put options. So I am short the market right now. And the reason why I am short the market right now is because of this daily 9 that took place on Friday. So if I go back to the daily chart, I am going to trust the sequential, and I thought I shorted far enough into the end of day. Clearly, with 2 hours left in market time, I did not. I shorted way too early going into the weekend. But I trust the 9, and I do believe that this high on Friday should hold, and we're going to pull back. I have no idea if we're only going to pull back to, say, 2650 or further, or maybe less. I don't know, but I believe a healthy uptrend needs a pullback, at least something like this. The last pullback we had, we fell 7.5%. So if I extrapolate that pullback for 7.5%, that takes us to approximately this Fibonacci line, which would actually be a perfect back test of prior resistance. That is my target for my short trade of the S&P 500, but I will adjust my opinion of this with every tick of every second of every day that I'm in the trade, and that's what a trader does. All right, and on this note, we're gonna call it a day. No questions today. I'll bring you another Trading Bitcoin bright and early. Please support through the affiliate page if you enjoy these videos. And there it is. All right. That's it for me. I only have 2 books within arm's length. Well, that's not true, but I only have 2 Bitcoin related books within arm's length. and that is Hyperwave Theory from Tyler and Socrates and Leah, and of course, the Little Bitcoin book by Jimmy Song and 6 others.
7 others, but yeah.
7 others. I thought it was 7 total.
8 total.
All right. That's it for us. Jimmy, sign us off.
Fiat Delenda S, this song is done.
Night, guys. Thank you for watching. Closing out with 750 live viewers.